What if the Joker had known Batman's true face this whole time and simply chose never to say it out loud? This is Gotham City, a place so drowning in crime that one man decided the law alone would never be enough. By day, he's Bruce Wayne, a billionaire industrialist. By night, he is Batman, a masked vigilante who has sworn his life to protecting the people this city keeps failing. Beneath his family's mansion lies the Batcave, a hidden fortress of computers, trophies, and vehicles where Bruce plans every move. For years, this cave has been his sanctuary, the one place where the weight of Gotham feels almost manageable. He isn't alone down there. Alfred, the loyal butler who raised Bruce after his parents were murdered, has been his caretaker, his conscience, and his closest friend for decades. Alfred worries endlessly that one night, Bruce simply won't come home. Recently, Alfred's estranged daughter Julia has entered the picture. A trained intelligence operative, Julia grew up believing her father worked as a simple butler, never knowing his secret double life supporting Batman. Now she works alongside them both, still learning to trust the family she barely knew. Bruce has also taken on a new protege, Duke Thomas, a brilliant teenager whose sharp eyes and street smarts once helped Batman crack a case wide open. Bruce sees something of himself in Duke, a kid who lost everything to Gotham's chaos and still refuses to give up on the city. And up above, in the real halls of power, Commissioner Jim Gordon runs the Gotham City Police Department. Gordon has spent his career walking the thin line between the law and Batman's shadow justice. And though he doesn't always approve of the Bat, he knows Gotham needs him. For a while, life in Gotham had settled into something almost like peace. Almost. Because the one enemy Batman feared more than any other had been silent for far too long. And silence, from him, was never a good sign. Then, without warning, the Joker returned. Gotham's most infamous killer resurfaced, grinning wider than ever, claiming this time he wasn't just back for revenge, he was back to end everything, for good. Stranger still, the Joker began hinting at something impossible, that he wasn't simply a man who kept surviving death. He claimed to be an ancient force woven into Gotham's very founding, a pale, grinning legend the city had always secretly feared. Batman refused to believe the myth. He'd faced the Joker's lies for years and knew better than to trust a single word from that grin. But something about this return felt different, colder, more prepared, like the opening move of a much larger game. The first real sign of trouble came from Arkham Asylum, where a guard was found collapsed, his skin bleached white and his mouth stretched into a permanent, horrifying grin. He had been exposed to something new, a toxin unlike anything Batman had seen the Joker use before. This wasn't the classic Joker venom that simply made victims laugh themselves to death. This new strain physically transformed people, twisting them into feral, monstrous versions of themselves. Whatever the Joker was building now, it was worse than anything Gotham had ever survived. Back at the cave, Batman connected the dots. The Joker wasn't planning one attack. He was building towards something citywide. And true to form, he wanted his old enemy to know it was coming. Sure enough, every screen across Gotham suddenly flickered to life with the Joker's grinning face, laughing directly at the camera. He announced gleefully that this would be his final performance, and that Batman had a front row seat whether he liked it or not. What Batman didn't yet know was that the Joker had already gotten to him personally. Somewhere along the way, gadgets from Batman's own utility belt had been secretly tampered with, laced with a hidden dose of the very toxin now spreading through Gotham. The League had fallen. It turned out the sabotaged gadgets had been quietly delivered into the hands of the Justice League itself, disguised as gifts from Batman during a routine meeting. Now, one by one, Earth's mightiest heroes were succumbing to the Joker's toxin, transformed into feral, grinning monsters loyal only to chaos. The first to reach him was Superman, or what remained of him, eyes glowing with feral rage, all reason burned away by the infection. Batman had trained for nightmares like this, but nothing could fully prepare him for fighting a friend who no longer recognized him. One after another, the infected heroes came for him, their minds gone, their strength unchanged. Batman couldn't fight fair, and he couldn't fight to kill. He needed a way to shut down the toxin, not just survive the beating. It was Julia who saved him, patching in through his earpiece with an emergency cure she and Alfred had rushed to synthesize from the toxin samples Batman had recovered earlier. Injected in time, it reversed the infection, just enough to give Batman the edge he needed to get everyone to safety. Meanwhile, Duke Thomas proved just how valuable he'd become, tracking the toxin's chemical signature through Gotham's water systems from a laptop in the cave, feeding Batman real-time coordinates of where the Joker's poison was spreading next. Above ground, Jim Gordon and the GCPD scrambled to contain the panic, barricading streets and evacuating neighborhoods as reports of grinning, monstrous citizens flooded in from every district. Gordon didn't fully understand what was happening, only that Gotham was unraveling fast. Cornered on a rooftop between two infected heroes, Batman finally demanded to know why the Joker was doing this, what the Endgame actually was. And that's when the Joker, watching from a hidden camera feed, gave him an answer no one expected. He knew all along. The Joker calmly admitted the truth. He had known for years that Bruce Wayne was Batman. He'd simply chosen never to say it aloud, because unmasking his enemy would ruin the only game worth playing. To the Joker, the mystery of the mask was the whole point. It was a devastating reveal. For Batman, the mask had always meant protection, a way to shield the people he loved from his enemies. Learning the Joker had seen through it for years and stayed silent purely to preserve his own twisted amusement, cut deeper than any physical wound. Back in the cave, Alfred watched Bruce's vitals spike on the monitors and understood exactly what that reveal must be doing to him. He had raised this boy through nightmares before, but he feared this one might finally be the fight that broke him. But there was no time to grieve. The Joker announced his true finale. He had rigged the ancient reservoir system deep beneath Gotham to flood the entire city's water supply with his toxin. Within hours, every man, woman, and child in Gotham would be transformed. Batman traced the signal to Undertown, a forgotten network of tunnels and catacombs buried beneath modern Gotham, built by the city's earliest and strangest founders centuries ago. If the myths were true, this was where the Joker's story, whatever it really was, had first begun. He wasn't going in blind. Julia rerouted every camera and drone she could hack into the tunnel network, while Duke worked feverishly to locate manual shutoff valves that could stop the toxin, even if Batman couldn't reach the source in time. Above ground, Jim Gordon rushed emergency crews to the city's main pumping stations, buying precious minutes by manually cutting off water flow to entire neighborhoods, even as the deadline the Joker had set continued to shrink. Deep in Undertown, Batman finally found him, the Joker, standing calmly beside the very machine that would doom Gotham, utterly unbothered by the countdown ticking behind him. This was the confrontation everything had been building toward. The Joker didn't want to negotiate. He wanted one final fight, just the two of them, the way he believed their story was always meant to end. Batman, with the whole city's life on the line, had no choice but to give it to him. The fight that followed was brutal and desperate, years of history exploding into every blow. Batman fought not just for himself, but for every person Gordon's officers were racing to save above, every second bought by Julia and Duke's frantic work topside. Even bleeding and battered, the Joker kept laughing, taunting Batman with the same question over and over. After everything, would he finally break his one rule and end this for good? Batman refused. Killing the Joker had never been the answer, not after everything they'd both survived, and it wouldn't become the answer tonight. Instead, he did the only thing that could actually save Gotham. He went for the machine itself. In one last, desperate move, the Joker lunged and drove his blade deep into Batman's side, just as Batman triggered a hidden explosive charge meant to destroy the toxin at its source. The blast tore through the ancient chamber, and the tunnels above began to collapse around them both. When the dust settled, Duke's sensors showed the toxin readings finally dropping to 0 across the whole city. Gotham's water was safe. But the tunnel where Batman had last been seen was now nothing but tons of collapsed stone, and no signal was coming through. Rescue crews dug for days through the rubble of Undertown, but they found no trace of either Batman or the Joker, only wreckage, ash, and the ruins of the machine that had almost destroyed the city. Gotham had been saved, but at a cost no one wanted to accept. Weeks passed with no sign of Batman anywhere in Gotham. Eventually, the city did something it had never done before. It held a public funeral, mourning the vigilante many had once feared, now grieving him as the hero he had truly been all along. In the empty Batcave, Alfred, Julia, and Duke sat together in heavy silence, unsure how to move forward without the man who had held them all together. Alfred had buried far too many people he loved, and this loss felt like the cruelest one yet. He was alive. Months later, deep beneath the city, Bruce Wayne stirred inside a hidden emergency chamber he had built years earlier for exactly this kind of catastrophe. A reinforced shelter stocked with supplies, designed to keep him alive long enough to dig his way out. He had survived the collapse after all, buried but never truly beaten. He returned to Wayne Manor quietly, exhausted and changed, to find Alfred, Julia, and Duke still holding the mission together in his absence. There were tears, disbelief, and finally, relief. The family he'd built without ever quite meaning to had refused to fall apart without him. As for the Joker, no body was ever recovered from the wreckage of Undertown. Whether he truly died down there or simply vanished into Gotham's shadows once again, no one could say for certain. And perhaps, fittingly, that uncertainty was exactly the kind of ending he would have wanted. Gotham never learned the full truth of what happened beneath its streets, only that its protector had returned when the city needed him most. And Bruce Wayne, scarred but unbroken, put the cowl back on once more, because as long as Gotham needed a Batman, he intended to keep being one.